Majo John Madden in Cancun, getting ready to leave Cancun. Now, a few days ago, I had a visit with possibly the same iguana, big one, older one, and recorded it on video. Oh, look what he's doing now. Huh. He's on the move. There's this thing he does with his head, which is so interesting. Maybe someday I'll learn what that means. So the other day, I don't know if I made a point of letting him hear my voice, but eventually he came down into these leaves here and stayed there for a while. And then he came over this way and kissed my toes, which was astonishing. And even before he did that, I said, I've had it happen with horses where they seek me out. They come towards me. Now, 2020, when the COVID shut down Asheville, a few months before, I had been working at a store called Earth Fair in Asheville, North Carolina, hippie progressive mecca that had everything new age and everything wonderful and about personal growth. And they had a couple of different places that did equine therapy, where veterans and people in recovery and children could spend time around horses, because horses were very sensitive and could pick up on their energy, and to be with the horses you had to get quiet inside or they wouldn't come to you. And one of my customers at Earth Fair said, we're having a program for the public tomorrow, Saturday, come on out. So I went upriver, up in the mountains a little further, to the equine therapy place. And I was late. I was running late. But I knew I was meant to be there. So I got myself kind of in a state rushing to get out there. And when I came in, my friend there was a big corral with a few horses in it, and maybe 10, 12, 20 people listening to a talk about equine therapy. And my friend was doing the talk, and he said, volunteers, if they show up for their shift to work with the horses, and there's anything out of sorts for them, we tell them, don't go into the corral yet, go walk it off, get yourself in harmony, because the horses won't work for you if you're anxious. And I thought, well, that's great, because I'm way off center. I've been rushing, so I guess that's out. And pretty much at that moment, one of the horses walked right over to me and stood right in front of me. And it was an extraordinarily affirming message, because it said, even me in my way off center state radiates something that animals recognize. A bunch of years before that, there was a woman at Jubilee, where I went to church, who was doing energy paintings. I asked her about it, and she said, yeah, I draw your energy. Not your life as it is, but underneath that, under the hood, what's going on. Wow, that was exciting. Crackles chasing each other. And I paid her some amount of money to do an energy painting for me. And I was scared what it would look like. When she drew my energy, would it look like some kind of frantic thing that would make me feel sad about who I was, because I still had not woken up and still was taking all the pharmaceutical drugs for bipolar disorder, and still was not liking myself very much. And a week later, she came back with the painting, and it was beautiful. It was blue and green and serene, and it was up on my wall for a long time in Nashville. And I asked her about it. I said, "It's so beautiful. Is this me? Is this my energy?" And she says, "Usually when I do an energy painting for people, I have to do several drafts because the first several show all the frantic energy, all the fears they are holding. And I have to drop lower and lower and lower to get to the peaceful part, the serene, the soul." She said, "But I didn't have to do that with you. This is how it came out right out of the chute. No fear." And I said, whatever her name was, I said, "Well, that makes no sense because I've got lots of fears." And she said, "They obviously aren't in the way." Yeah. And when this guy, if it was this guy, came over and kissed my toes the other day, the first encounter, I looked it up on Google. Do iguanas do that? And Google said, yeah, at peace, in a state of contentment, maybe happy, they get very curious and exploratory and will explore things by licking them. But they really were referring to like if you have a pet iguana or if the iguana knows you really well. So the fact that this iguana or whichever iguana on first outing wanted to come over and lick my feet, I'm going to hold on to that as reassurance for a long time. And I don't know what's going to happen with this guy, and I'm going to break off this recording here. He may hold that pose and that may be our encounter today. And learning for me from that is every encounter you have is unique, is going to be exactly what it's meant to be. Don't expect it to be anything other than what it is. Don't try to repeat a previous encounter. Listen into what's supposed to happen between us today. So I'm going to stop talking and just sit here for a while and see what happens. This may be it.